How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I am coming with a update today on my portfolios, the stocks that I've been buying, and whether I think the stock market is up too high just in general these days. So a lot of people have been asking,
is the stock market up too high? It's almost up to where it was before all this started at the beginning of the year.
and there's valid concern for that because the NASDAQ is just down a couple percent since January 1. The other indexes are only down a few percent also. So I do understand the concern for whether the market's too expensive. However, I don't really try to time the market. I don't wait until there's a recession and then put all my money in or something like that. I like to kind of dollar cost average it throughout the year. And I do some large deposits at some points if I just think that there's a deal. But that's not my main goal to hit the bottom every time that a stock's hit the bottom. I think, is this a good value today where it is? And if it is, then I'll invest what I'm comfortable investing. So you should definitely watch through to the end because I tell you what I'm doing and you might be able to learn from it and maybe save yourself some time and money by learning what to do and maybe learn what not to do depending on if what I do works or if there's a better way to do it. So definitely stay through to the end. I do have something exciting that I'm doing right now, which is I'm putting in $5 into one of my investment accounts for every new subscriber. So I did add a position solely based on the fact that I gained 30 new subs since last week. So I announced it last Monday that I was going to start investing $5 per subscriber, and I was at 86 then. By yesterday when I looked, it had been 1 week and it had been exactly 30 subscribers. I got to 116, so that's exciting. Looks like I've already gotten another 9 or 10 subscribers since yesterday at this time, so I'm gonna be investing more next week. And part of this is just because it's a fun thing to do. I would never do something that I think is a bad idea, but I do still think that there are stocks out there that are good value and I want to invest in them, and I think this is kind of a fun way of growing my portfolio, showing you what a portfolio can do if you add to it regularly. And yeah, I just think that's exciting. So we'll get into it today. Hey guys, I am just about to jump into the stocks that I bought, but I do want to ask you to please subscribe below because it really helps out the channel, and leave a like, and I will let you get back to the video. Thanks. So like I said, the indexes are down just a small amount since the beginning of the year. That does bring a little bit of concern because it might be a while before we see the earnings that we used to see on companies because of everything that's going on in the economy. People are generally sitting at home a lot more, not spending as much money. But that being said, there are companies that have still dropped 50 to 70% or even more over this time span that I think are good companies. And even if they're going to be hurt 50% and they're only going to make 50% of their earnings, if they dropped 75%, I still think it's a good value. So what I've been trying to do is find those companies that I think are good value still, that have a good long-term prospect, that their business still makes sense in this day and age, and that they might be able to take advantage of what's going on and actually make more money. Along with that, I've been looking for companies with solid dividends because so many stocks have gone down in price that you can actually get a pretty high dividend from a lot of these stocks that are just staples in our economy, but now are paying 4, 5, 6% in dividends each year. So the first stock I invested in today was actually in my M1 portfolio. It was a deposit from yesterday actually because I saw that I hit 30 subscribers. So I invested $150. And I actually, if you notice, my portfolio is a little bit bigger than it was last time. I transferred an old portfolio in, that's at $3,007 there. But I bought innovative industrial properties with my $150. So I invested, again, $5 per new sub. If you haven't seen my other videos, I go through IIPR, or Innovative Industrial Properties. If you don't know, they're a medical marijuana REIT. They invest into the buildings that these medical marijuana facilities own. Then they get the lease back to them from the people that they bought the building from. So they essentially go provide some cash for the people that own the building. They get them to lease the building for 10 to 15 years. So they've been growing a lot over the last couple of years. Their dividends have gone up significantly. I'm just excited to be part of their business now. So as you can see, some of my portfolio has increased. I have about $3,400 in just an index fund. I have large positions now in IIPR, about $577. I still have some in Berkshire and Skyworks and Qualcomm and NRZ and Invesco and Disney. And I'm excited about all these positions. There's nothing in here that I think was a bad value. I did have Carnival and Delta Airlines, but I think that those were good values at the time. And I have IIPR here. I have about 7.5 shares for just under $70 a share. And those pay $4 dividends. So I have 7.5 shares that will pay me over $30 throughout the year. So that's exciting. IIPR announces their earnings tonight. So they could go up a lot tonight. They could go down a lot tonight. We'll just have to see. So those were what I bought in my M1 portfolio. Now I am going to look at what I also bought in my Robinhood portfolio. And excuse me for looking down. I'm looking at my computer just to see what I bought and what price I bought it at. So as you can see in my Robinhood portfolio, I have just about $1,200. I invested my stimulus check in Robinhood. If you haven't seen those videos, you should definitely go check them out. And the portfolio went up in value, went down in value, went up in value. So it's hard to tell exactly where it's going to be day to day. But I am happy with the stocks that I bought. Most of them are up today. And the goal was to create another dividend investing portfolio, something that paid me every month, multiple times a month. Because like I said in my video, what's better than getting a stimulus check from the government? Getting a couple every month. So I invested in WBA with another $42.61 or so. So I bought one more share. As you can see, most people are saying hold on this stock, but I am excited about owning more WBA. This is Walgreens Boots Alliance, if you don't know, but they own Walgreens, as you might be able to tell, and they pay a pretty hefty dividend. They pay about 4.3%. And their payout ratio is really low. So they only pay out about 33% in dividends. And they've been able to grow this over the last 5 years, over 6.5% each year. And they've been growing the dividend for 43 years. So they are a dividend aristocrat, which is a stock that has increased their dividends over 25 years. And they just continuously bump this up. But unlike a lot of the other dividend aristocrats, they have a very low payout ratio. And I don't think that they're too high in cost. Their PE ratio, so their price to earnings ratio, is right between about 10 and 11. So every $10 you invest, you get about $1 of earnings, which is really good compared to the Pepsis and the Coca-Colas of the world. Part of that might be the Amazons of the world that are kind of taking over a lot of the stuff that Walgreens used to be able to do. But I think that Walgreens will still do well long term because I don't think people want to wait to get some of the stuff that they sell, like stuff from their pharmacy, like medicine. If you're just on the side of the road and you're traveling and you stop at a Walgreens to get some snacks or something like that, I don't think people want to order Amazon Prime when you're traveling or something like that. So I think there's still definitely a market for it. And I think that they're going to do fine in this pandemic because a lot of other stores are shut down. So I think that they can take advantage by selling more water and medicine and stuff like that. They did show slight earnings decrease, but I think that for the price they are now, they're a good value. So they're a company that I can see holding on to for a very long time. So I'm very excited about owning both of these companies. I think they're both really good value. I want to invest more, so keep on subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe below and know that I will be investing $5 for you into my own accounts. I can do this in Robinhood or M1. I'm probably going to lean towards M1 right now just because it is a Roth portfolio, so it is tax advantaged. But I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know below, are you building a portfolio of your own? And I will see you in the next video. Bye.